Hi everybody, it's Gina and I'm here today with another video. Now this video is quite different from the ones I've done before. This is in part a tribute to a friend who died recently and also encouragement to those of us who consider ourselves part of a particular illness community. Recently, a friend of mine, like I mentioned, named Wanda, died of lupus. And the irony of this is I've never met Wanda in real life. But I connected with her, I want to say about 3 years ago on Facebook. Now, well, let me back up because I think some of you might have gotten confused already. Wanda and myself and a host of others who are in this particular community were diagnosed with lupus at some point in our life. I was diagnosed about 5 years ago. Wanda, I think, was diagnosed, many years ago. I think about 15 years. So she's been fighting this for quite a while, and she had been in and out of hospital on several medications, on oxygen, all of that stuff. But I remember the day that I got this friend request because many of us, when we're diagnosed with a particular illness, if you've been diagnosed with cancer or maybe you've been diagnosed with heart disease, whatever the illness is, you tend to reach out to people who also have that illness or have been diagnosed with that illness because you experience that kind of like a me too. And it's nice being in a community, whether that community has to do with illness or something else, but it's nice being among other people who can identify with what you're going through, right? So um, for a few years now, I've been in different groups dealing with lupus and lupus awareness, lupus advocacy, that sort of thing. Because when I was first diagnosed, I remember how lonely it felt. The first thing was, what the heck is lupus? That was one of the things I asked my doctor when I was first diagnosed, and actually when I was first sent to have blood work to determine if this was causing the issues. So when my doctor sent me off to have blood work done for this particular illness, that's when I started to do my research as to what it was. So I started joining other people in these different groups as support, because I think I was the first person or the only person in my family who I know that's been diagnosed with it. And it was just a very lonely feeling. So I went on the hunt to find other people who I could connect with who were also dealing with this illness. But I remember when I got a friend request on Facebook from this particular person named Wanda. And I thought, oh, I don't know who this is. Then I realized that our mutual friends were also people within the lupus community. And I remember like I always do with other people, I check out their profile and I instantly accepted, because there was just something about her that said, oh, why not? She just seemed to be this really, really sweet person. So the thing is, as soon as I accepted, then I got a message and it was from her, and we instantly clicked and we would talk back and forth on Messenger, and we would but let me tell you about Wanda. She, every day, whenever she was able, because like I said, she really was fighting this illness. Whenever she was able, which was, I would say, 90% of the time, we would get I would get a reminder from Facebook saying, you were tagged in this by Wanda. And I would go and look, and it was always a very encouraging. There was a picture, but there was always some kind of either a biblical quote or some kind of encouraging quote that she would send to all of these people. And we're talking about, at least 50 people that she would tag in it. And these are all people who were within the lupus community, who were also fighting lupus, or who'd been diagnosed and maybe were waiting um, for treatment, or they were newly diagnosed, didn't know where to turn. So here they were. There were so many different types of people within this lupus community. So she would always send out this encouraging message virtually every day. And it was always something for us to look forward to, And I remember the first time I got that, it was like, you get so many of these things, and it's like, do I really want to identify with, or always want to be tagged in these? But I got to a point where I was looking forward to them. And if there was a day when I didn't receive the message that I was tagged in one of these, then it was like, oh, what's happened? Well, we always knew what was going on, that something was going on if there wasn't one. And that didn't happen very often, because I'm telling you, Wanda was such a fighter. And you couldn't tell the days that she was having a hard time, because she smiled through it all. She really did. Unless she was, posting something from the hospital, then you know that she was having a really rough day. But she smiled through all of her challenges, and that is one of the things that I really loved about her. She was never a downer. So the day that I got the message that she had passed, it was just like, wow. And normally, like I said, I wouldn't do, videos like this, because we've lost, actually, within the week leading up to when Wanda passed, I think I received about 4 messages, or saw other posts about other members in the lupus community that had passed, but they didn't really hit me as hard as this one with my friend Wanda did. But like I said, we'd never met in person, but you make a connection with someone, whether you're, right here in our YouTube community. We've made connections with so many people that we've never met, but whenever, maybe we are gone too long from our channel, so others will start to wonder, did something happen, what, that sort of thing. So it's just, this one hit me when I heard that Wanda had passed, because even though we had never met, we did have that kind of a connection. And it wasn't just me, everyone within our close-knit group are really feeling the impact of that gap that Wanda has created, because we all looked forward to receiving these little encouraging notes from her. And one of the things that I got recently from another person who is in the group is, we need to continue Wanda's legacy, because she really took it upon herself to encourage so many of us, and we need to continue to carry that torch that she lit so brightly, and she continued to carry it even on the days that she was feeling ill. And recently I was watching a particular episode of a show called Jane the Virgin. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. But in one of these episodes, Jane's mom is diagnosed with cancer. And as she's going through chemotherapy, she meets another lady, and she really clicks with this person. And the thing is, within a few weeks of them really connecting, and they connected because of this, joint illness that they were fighting. When this friend passed, that really hit Jane's mom really hard. And I remember sitting there and I'm crying, and I looked at my son, And I said, I'm sorry if I start crying, because I understand how she feels, because when you're fighting an illness and you have someone who understands what you're going through, and that person suddenly passes, it kind of feels like they've left a gap and you don't know how to fill it. And so it's been a bit of a challenge. It's been I think a week now since Wanda has passed, and there's several times when I'm saying to myself, I can't believe she's gone. I really can't believe she's gone. And it's yeah, it's hard, because you get to okay, I'm not gonna do this. You get to a point where you connect with someone, and I guess you expect that person to always be there. Even yes, I know, even though you're fighting an illness that is potentially terminal. It not necessarily is a terminal illness, but because it affects each person so differently, you know, you kind of expect that at some point you're going to start losing people. And within the last 2 years, I think, gosh, just the ones that I've known, there's probably been about 11, I think about 11 people in our community that's passed. And yes, they're out of their suffering, but you do get to a point where you connect with people, and it's all because of a particular illness, and it's hard. It really is. And I really didn't expect that I was going to do this, because I kind of prepared myself, and it's like I said, it's been a week, and um it's just, I just wanted to come on and encourage those of you who might be dealing with something in your family, or you may be dealing with it yourself. And if you're feeling alone, it helps to connect with other people who are also dealing with what you're dealing with, even if it is an illness. It helps to connect with other people who are also dealing with that illness, because there is that me too kind of connection, and it helps. It really does help. I was actually going through a bunch of paperwork recently, and it happened to be among some stuff from a surgery that I had about a year ago. And I wanted to share some of the information that I found on that. I didn't really intend for this video to go on as long as it's going, but I think it will benefit someone out there. And this is something that was given to me shortly, I think it was just after my surgery, and I was kind of recuperating, and it was part of a packet that was given to me as I was getting ready to be discharged. So I wanted to share some of this. If you are dealing with losing someone who might have been in the community, whether it's illness or whatever it is you're dealing with, or you've been newly diagnosed and you're not sure where to go, what to do, how to connect with people, I'm going to give you some ideas. And this is an acronym that was given to me. It's by the WUSTAF, the Joint Commission, and the acronym is actually Speak Up. And for speak, simply speak up. That if you have questions or concerns, make sure that you discuss that with your doctor. Don't keep those kind of concerns to yourself. If you're feeling, any kind of things going through your mind, speak to your doctor. Maybe they can refer you to someone. If you're having a really hard time dealing with your illness, or just mental issues that maybe, because let's face it, when you're dealing with an illness, it is really hard on you mentally. That was one of the things that I had to deal with when I was first diagnosed several years ago. because I found I called a psychiatrist and I said, look, I really need to come and talk to someone. And ended up, I went to a therapist as well, because you cannot deal with this alone. So first thing is speak up, speak up, speak up, and get your answers. Uh, You can find your answers. They can also, the people you speak to will also lead you to other people who can potentially help you. The second letter is P. Pay attention to the care that you're getting. Go go to your doctors regularly. They can lead you to support groups. Pay attention to your body. Let your body tell you how it's feeling on any given day. If something doesn't feel right, go back to the first one that I should S, speak up. Let your doctor know. Okay. E is educate yourself about your illness. And that is a huge one. Don't take everything your doctor says for granted. If your doctor says you have this, do your research. That was a huge eye opener for me. Because like I said, when my doctor told me he was sending me to be tested for this thing called lupus, the first thing was, what the heck is lupus? I had never, to be honest, heard of lupus until the day my doctor said he was sending me to be tested. So educate yourself on this. Also, education doesn't necessarily just come from the internet, from your doctors. Talk to other people who also have the diagnosis, because they could be dealing with it in a different way. Their symptoms might be slightly different from yours, but they can also help you with the medications that you might be on. They can help you to determine what potential side effects you may have from it, how to deal with all of those things. So A is ask a trusted family member or friend to be your advocate, to be your support. And that's also huge. You want to make sure that you have a strong support system always around you. K, know what medications that you're taking. Don't just say, okay, I've got this, has been prescribed for me, let me just pop a pill, whatever. Know what side effects they could potentially give to you, and make sure you're aware of what other medications that you're taking. Talk to your pharmacist. Your pharmacist is going to be a huge advocate for you, is going to be huge as far as knowing, okay, you're taking this medication, maybe this medication is not necessarily going to be good in combination with that. And I can speak from experience, because there was a time when I went into near cardiac arrest because of two medications that I was taking that conflicted with each other, and I ended up collapsing. And by the time I got to the emergency room, my doctor did tell me these two medications should never have been taken together. So you want to make sure that you talk to your pharmacist, you talk to your doctor, educate yourself about the medications. Know what medications you are taking and why you're taking them. Don't just simply pop the pills without even knowing. You is use a hospital, a clinic, surgery center, or whatever type of healthcare organization that has been carefully checked out. Don't just go to anyone. Plus, your insurance company, I'm sure, is going to have specific ones that you're going to want to that would be designated for you. But always check out the facility that you're going to be going to, and make sure that it's going to be um, it's going to be right for you. And P is participate in your healthcare. Don't just pass off your healthcare over to someone else and say, okay, you guys, you tell me what medications am I supposed to take? What do I need to do? I will do this. You need to participate in your own healthcare. You have to be your own advocate. Please. Don't just expect that everybody, you're going to have this team of doctors. Yes, your team of doctors is going to be great, but you have to be your own advocate when it comes to your healthcare. You have to know, because all of these medications that you're putting in your body, this is still your body. You have to know how are they affecting you, because how they affect you is not necessarily how it's going to affect the next person who may have the same illness, because it's a totally different body, and the medications will react differently. So you have to participate in your own healthcare and don't just take. So let's recap. Speak up. P, pay attention to the care that you're getting. Pay attention to your body. E, educate yourself about your illness, about the medications that you're taking. A, ask a trusted friend or family member to be your advocate. Always great to have support. And K, know what medications that you're taking and know what they are for. U, use a hospital, a clinic, whatever health agency, but most likely your insurance company will help you with that as well. And P, participate in your own health care, please. Now, I want to say, if you are out there and you are fighting a particular illness, whether it's cancer, whether it's lupus, or it's something else, it does help to have a great team of, I don't want to say like sufferers, but people who are also dealing with the same situation that you're dealing with. So reach out to them, connect with them, and form that. Don't be afraid to form connections. And I think that's one of the things that I found that was really good within the lupus community, is that yes, we lose a lot of people, but it doesn't make us afraid to form those connections. You cannot be afraid to become friends with people simply because you're scared of losing them. Does it hurt? Yes, because like I said, even though I'd never met Wanda, we did talk, because technology is really good these days. So Facebook Messenger, and of course you have the video that you can also use. So that was really good, and it's hard to imagine that I will not get another tag in a photo from her. But I will also be able to go back and see, every day you have those memories from Facebook. You can click on and see the ones that she did send in the past. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. So I'd like to dedicate this to my friend Wanda Allen, who fought a good fight, but she's now out of pain. Her legacy is going to live on because she was such a huge supporter for a huge encouragement for so many of us within the lupus community, and she is going to be dearly missed. She started a program in Louisiana where they throw like a huge party every year, basically, which helps to raise funds for lupus research and that sort of thing. So she's left quite a legacy, and she will be greatly missed by me, by so many members of the lupus community, and certainly by her friends and her family. So I dedicate this to my friend Wanda. And if you're out there and you are hurting and if you are looking for support, please reach out and get the support that you need. And a lot of the times, yes, you can find it among all of those others who might also be hurting as well, because that is certainly one of the places where I found it. They may not necessarily be in my direct community, and a lot of them I've never met, but they have become some of my closest friends. So, and on that note, I'm gonna not drag this out anymore, but I've been building up to trying to do this video. So thank you guys for watching, and for those of you in my YouTube community, those of you I know I haven't met many of you. Actually, I've probably not met 98% of you. Some of you I know, but a lot of you I haven't met.